The Daily Telegraph has released The Nightwatch, a gripping 12-part documentary series recognising the every night heroes doing the exceptional. The series goes behind the scenes to retell some of Australia's most dramatic and infamous events in the words of emergency service workers who were there. Well, campaign spokesperson and editor Nicholas Eager joins me now. Nicholas, thank you so much for your time. What inspired you to take on this project?
Hi, Gabriella. How are you?
Yeah, good, thank you.
Thanks for having me. It's been a long time coming, and it's snowballed massively. It feels like quite some time ago I used to show friends of mine a photograph of a rather notorious Sydney underworld figure who I shall not name. And in that photograph, he was front and centre. I've been working in photography and news journalism for 15 years now. And it was just something that dawned on me. There's this figure in the center, and that's the news story. And in that photo, it's in the middle of the night, he'd been shot, he's on a stretcher. And in that photo were 2 paramedics, 2 cops, and a firefighter. And I just decided, I don't care about him. I want to know what their stories are. Let's sit down and talk to them. Because I know there's a number of different things that are out there that go in on emergency services. But it was really kind of looking at those big ticket stories, if you will, to see what it was really like and have some experience with looking into the trauma and the PTSD and what it's really like to be working on that front line. You know, how do you go to a double homicide and then later that night you head home and kiss your kids and pat your dog? Like, how does that happen? I don't know how that. I don't do that. So I want to find out what it's really like. And so we traveled the country and found some incredible people. They're all there in the Nightwatch.
Well, we're looking forward to watching it. Were there any stories in particular that shocked you?
There's 2 that stand out pretty quickly. One, most notably, because I was re-listening to the podcast of our front page story today with Joe Ibrahim. He was there. He's actually on the screen now. He was there that night in Orchard Hills, where a young woman pregnant with twins, lost her life, and a female relative. And it's just an extraordinary and shocking story. And the way he describes it and how he continues to live with that as part of his job, and then also sort of the infrastructure of who he is as a human being in and around other people that are colleagues that work on the front line as well. And he speaks to the fact that that was a horrific incident, and there was a very junior paramedic there on scene that night who'd only been on the job for about 6 months or so, he speaks to having to train him through what that was like. But then, speaking to the PTSD following that and how it affects you as a human being. And then it starts to really kind of roll out from there, and you think about what it's truly like for all these people that work on the front line.
Yeah. So just how important is it that these emergency service workers share their stories?
I think it's extremely important, and I don't think we've seen anything like this before. And especially at this juncture, I mean, it's profound to say the least. I mean, are we coming out of the end of the pandemic? Was there a second wave? And all the way through it, there's been frontline emergency services workers day and night, and quite pertinently, I live in the heart of Newtown in Sydney. And it was interesting to me last night. I thought I'd get an early night so I could have a chat to you, but I could hear the pubs. I could hear the pubs all buzzing, and I could hear sirens and alarms. And it was interesting to me, kind of a little bit prescient before coming on here, that I was like, well, there we are. The Nightwatch is back in business.
Yeah.
While everyone's out and about.
Absolutely. Now, Nicholas, this comes as the Prime Minister has announced a one-off National Day of Thanks for our everyday heroes.
Yeah, pretty extraordinary. As I said, this has really snowballed from something that was a relatively simple idea that I not only want to look into those stories of frontline emergency services workers, but also make a unique documentary series where it was sort of inclusive of everything. That it was a video documentary series, it's a full podcast series that combines with that, as well as running across all our print and digital. Grab a copy of the Daily Telly today; it's on the front page. But it was a relatively simple, but I felt elegant idea back then. And then someone gave me a call, because there's a lot of brilliant people working in the background on this project. And someone gave me a call and said that, in conjunction with the Nightwatch launching, the Prime Minister is going to announce a day for all emergency services workers and beyond that. Because, of course, COVID-19 and what's happened. I mean, teachers going back to work, daycarers, people working checkouts at supermarkets, everyone. It's incredible.
Oh, how fantastic. And News Corp is supporting this initiative through a Thanks a Million campaign. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, it's the idea is, it's really it's thanks a million, but it's thanks more than a million, I reckon. is so yeah. If you head to the nightwatch.com.au, you can check out the series, and you'll see that running concurrently with that at the moment is a little placement where you can go in, you can check out the stories. They're incredible, as well as you can also nominate a frontline worker yourself, someone who's affected you, or someone's a family member, a neighbor, mums, dads, anyone. That's another element to the whole project is, that what they do for a living every day is extraordinary, and they're your friend, they're your neighbors, they're your mums, your dads, sisters, brothers. It's kind of really simple at its core, but dealing with what they do for a profession is something extraordinary, and the Thanks a Million campaign looks to really honour that. So I encourage people to jump in there and nominate their favourite hero in their community.
What a great campaign, and what a great story. Congratulations on completing it. I'm looking forward to getting right
Thanks,
into
Gabriella.
it. Really appreciate your time this morning.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
And to learn more about our overnight frontline heroes, you can watch the Daily Telegraph's Nightwatch campaign at thenightwatch.com.au.